The action of delaying or postponing something comes naturally to most of us, especially if we dread doing a particular activity. In fact, there is a high chance we've procrastinated at least once today. This could come in the form of watching videos on YouTube instead of doing your work, skipping your daily exercise routine because you're feeling tired, or pushing your studies aside just to play computer games. We've all done it at one point in our lives, and it's not a very healthy habit to cultivate because it kills our productivity. Now, having the tendency to procrastinate isn't all that uncommon. You don't have to worry that your predisposition to such a negative character trait will affect your chances of success. In a study conducted by the University of Vermont, as many as 46% of the subjects reported that they always or nearly always procrastinate writing papers, while 30% reported procrastinating while studying for exams and weekly assignments. These extremely high numbers indicate that perhaps procrastination isn't really a problem as per se, but rather a way the mind reacts to an unpleasant or negative emotion. Psychologists attribute procrastination to a mechanism for coping with anxiety associated with starting or completing any task or decision. Meanwhile, what really happens in your brain is that your mind's pleasure receptors take control of your decisions, causing you to watch that funny video instead of working. By allowing our thoughts and feelings to sway our actions, we give in to instant gratification, resulting in the final act of procrastinating in our daily lives. Now, with that being said, if we allow our minds to rein control of our actions, falling prey to procrastination on a daily basis, we may never have a life of productivity that we envision ourselves to have. For one, by procrastinating from doing our main activities, we will not have enough time in the day to do all the things that needs to be done. With only 17 hours or less of conscious time spent in a day, procrastination fills it with useless activities that don't add value to our long-term goals, regardless of the amount of effort that we put in at the end of the day. But then again, not having enough time in a day pales in comparison to losing control of your actions once procrastination becomes a habit. One moment you may tell yourself that it's just a video, but the next thing you know, you've already watched 10 videos consecutively and 2 hours have passed by. This destructive behavior is further compounded by the fact that you will convince yourself that what's done is done and leads to more time wasting. This behavior can build up daily and soon turn into a habit that will dictate your life. A month can pass you by in a flash, yet you have nothing to show for it. No progression, no results. Just an unaccounted journal for the time that has passed you by. If these examples sound familiar to you, or if you've never wanted to happen in your life, then perhaps it's time to take some steps to prevent procrastination from taking control of your life. Here are some methods that I have personally used in my daily life to beat procrastination and ensure it stays at bay while I'm doing my work. 1. Get an accountability partner. Now, this partner will be someone who is close to you, someone whom you can trust and respect. Your accountability partner will be the one that you will tell your intended actions to ensure that pressure is being placed on you so as not to slip up in your work schedule. He or she also has the duty of reminding you to commit and adhere to your initial promise or risk paying the consequences for missing the deadline. With this mounting peer pressure, you'll be forced to make good of your word or risk feeling extremely guilty at the end of the day. 2. Break up big projects into smaller, more manageable work. One of the main reasons for procrastination is because of just how immense the workload is, causing you to stall for time and avoid the work as long as possible. A simple way to counteract this is to break up your projects into smaller, achievable chunks of milestones so you can manage the workload. For example, if you're trying to write a book, stop thinking about the type of words you're going to use or how the story is going to end. Simply jot down actionable steps that you can do bit by bit. This could come in the form of planning the outline of the story first, followed by writing a draft of the first chapter, and so on. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself such that it clutters your mind and leaves you feeling frustrated. 3. Stop picturing yourself doing the activity and actually do it. Scientists have discovered that by actually picturing yourself doing an activity, he or she activates the reward center of their brain, which is equivalent to actually doing the activity already. This results in them losing motivation before actually starting on their work, making procrastination all the more likely to happen. So the next time you need to complete a report at work, don't think about doing it. Simply dive straight into your report with the mindset of completing it once and for all. 4. Reward yourself sparingly with short breaks. Taking breaks is equally important if we wish to sustain our concentration, but the breaks in itself shouldn't last too long, lest we lose our momentum. This is especially so if we partake in activities like watching videos during our breaks, as it is very easy to go over the time we've allocated for ourselves. Once you lose control, it's much harder to break the inertia and start work again. Try to aim for a little over 5 minutes for every 25 minutes spent on your work, and don't overshoot the break time. If every one of us waits until we're ready to start doing something, we'll ultimately be waiting for the rest of our lives. Life is all about concocting a series of strategies to ensure we don't let the worst of ourselves take over from what we truly want to be. Stop your procrastination today and take actionable steps in getting your life right, and you'll find that procrastination won't come knocking at your door.